Hello guys, welcome you all to my YouTube channel. Today video we are going to talk about access modifier. When I say this terminology, you will get confused. What is this access modifier? Normally, some of the developers, not a some of the developer, most of the developers, when you have experience with the TypeScript, you work with these things. But due to this terminology, we get confused. So that is a common thing to everyone. But anyway, in this video, I am going to talk about access modifier, right? So without much more talk, let's dive into the video. So what is this access modifiers? When you talk about access modifier, we have three kind of access modifier. One is private, second is protected, third one is public, right? So these are the common three things available in the access modifier. So when to use these access modifier is when you are creating a classes, at the time you are make sure whether that particular variable or method should be public or private or protected. In this video we are going to see the difference between these three things, and I will go through this practical coding session, and at the end of the video you will get understand of what is the difference between these three and how it works. So practically I will going to show you in this video. So stay with me, watch until end this video. Right now I have opened my VS Code and I'm going to create a new file here. So that is access modifier.ts. So TypeScript, there's a one video I have already created, and that video I'm teaching a basic TypeScript for beginners. So if you are a beginner, if you don't know about TypeScript, right, so you can go through that video. At the end of the video, I'm pretty sure you will get understand of what is TypeScript and what is this tuples and what is this union interface and types, right? What is type annotations, everything I have discussed through that video. So I will attach here or here somewhere. You can go through if you don't know about TypeScript. And yeah, let's come back to the topic. Showing this access modifier, I'm going to create a new file called access modifier.ts, right? So in this ts file, I'm creating a user class, and user class including with the name and email and constructor, assigning those constructor value to this particular variable, and one method is called talk hello, right? So this is basically a simple class, right? So after that I am creating a new instance of this particular class and passing Rahim and my email, right? So user one, this particular instance is get created for this user one constant, right? So now what I am doing is I'm going to access this console.log. Going to access user one dot email. Now you can see when I use this user one, you can see email, name and talk. These three, talk is a method, these two are variable, these are accessible to outside, right? Normally when you are creating a class, if you are not specified anything, this is by default it's a public variable and public method. So public mean whenever user create an instance of that particular class, outside can access that particular class, and outside can access and modify those particular values. So these kind of things can possible when your email or method will be in public, right? Let's say for example, right now you can see if I access this user dot name, right? So I will show you if I run this in a terminal. First, this is a TypeScript file. First, we need to compile this to JS file, right? Okay, so due to this security purpose, it's not compiling or us. So I need to compile it. TSC access modifier .ts. Now you can see our one of the JS file is getting created. So now I need to run this access modifier JS file, right? Access modifier.js. Now you can see this is name called Rahim, right? Now let's assume I'm going to replace this. I don't want this Rahim name here. Instead of that, I'm access this particular name variable, and what I'm doing is I'm replacing this particular name with a John, right? So let me show you that. Let's use this. Now you can see its name, but in the constructor I have given the name called Rahim. Due to these names and email talks methods are public, due to this reason outside of world someone can replace these particular values. So this is possible because this is the variable and the methods are public. So this is the reason why private and protected are come into the picture. So let's talk about private now. So private, I make this what you can say, I make this variable private. So once I use this private keyword with the name, I make it private. So private mean this variable is accessed only inside this user class. So when someone is accessed outside of this class, that is not going to work. So this is what we call private. Make it private mean only accessible inside the class but not outside. Now you can see this is showing an error for us saying property name is private and only accessible within the class user. Correct, because otherwise you can see here, right? So when user can override, the user can use this particular instance and they can override the particular value. So this is really what you can say, this is incorrect behavior, what I'm saying. So this is the reason you can make it private. So either you can make it private this variable, or you can make private this method also, right? So that is possible. Now let's say I'm creating another method. Tell me your name, right? I'm going to return a string here, right? So in the string, hello, my name is, I'm saying its name here. So you always need to use this dot name, right? So if I use this name here, I'm deleting this one because this is no longer accessible, this particular name variable. So instead of that, I'm going to use this tell me your name. So once again, I'm compiling this one. Let's use this compiler JS file. You can see here, hello, my name is Rahim. So this is working perfectly, right? So this is how it is. Let's say I'm creating now we already talk about public, right? What is public mean? So everything, when you are not using this particular keyword, make it private or protected, by default it always public. But when you are making this keyword and when you're making your variable or a method to be private, it's only accessible inside the particular class, not accessible to outside class. Now let's see what is protected, right? So before going to talk about the protected, let's talk about this private. When we have this private method, when we inherit that particular class, right, with a subclass, is that possible to access when we are using this private? So let's see that one. So I'm creating another class saying person, I have a constructor and department. So now I'm creating another method called tell me your department. Tell me your name and department. Actually, this is a little bit longer method. Normally, you need to be a short form, but for the demo purpose, I'm showing this one. So now, I don't want to create once again this name in email. Instead of that, I need to extend this class with the person class, right? So to do that, so I'm going to inherit this one. So inherit concept is come into the picture. If you don't know about object-oriented programming in JavaScript, I have created a different video for that. I will attach here or here somewhere. So you can go through that video and understand the difference of ES5 and ES6 object-oriented programming, right? So I'm extending this user class. So once use this one, right, you need to call this super. You can see here constructor for derived class must be contain super. So you need to call this super, and you need to pass name, email, and department, right? So here I'm passing name and the email to super, and assign this dot department to a department, right? Now if I return this one, so I'm going to return this dot tell your name plus I'm going to say my department is this dot department. Now let me use this class person. Now you can see I've got 2, but there's one more thing should be come IT department, right? So now I'm a person user 1, and I'm going to ask tell your name and the department. So now these both are accessible, right? So what I'm doing is, once again I'm compiling this one, compiling my TypeScript file. Again I'm calling this access modifier. Okay, some of the problem here. Okay, this you need to call this method, otherwise it will not returning anything. So okay, let's see once again. I'm clearing the console. Now you can see, hello, my name is Rahim, my department is IT department. So the string is returning for us. Now inside this particular class, person class, I want to override the email. Let's say I want to access this particular user class email, right? So when I using this one, I can call this dot email and I can override it. But when I want to access this name, it is not accessible inside this subclass, right? So name is still private, so that due to that reason you cannot access inside this particular class. So how to make available only for subclasses and the class but not visible to outside? So this is the reason where protected is come into the picture. So I'm going to update this private instead of that protected. So now you can see, if I use this protected, the error is gone and I can use access this what name is accessible inside the class, right? Now if I update Rahim override, right? So if I use this one, this is accessible. Let's see, when I use this user one, already created the instance of this particular class. Now I'm going to access, because we already previously saw when we use this private, you cannot access outside, right? So now right now it's changed to protected. Right now the person class can accessible this name, but let's see whether this is still access to outside, right? To testing that one, so how to do is user one dot name. So you can see here now name is protected and only accessible with the class user and its subclass. So this is what the access modifier does. So in this video you saw that we have a three kind of access modifier. One is public, second is private, third one is protected, right? So public is it's accessible inside of the classes and subclasses and outside outside world also. But when you are making that particular something a variable or a method to be replaced with the private, it's only accessible inside that particular classes, right? But if you are making that particular variable or methods protected, it's only accessible their own classes and their subclasses, but not accessible to outside. So this is what the difference between this public, private and protected. I hope you guys enjoy this video. So if you are not yet subscribed my channel, go below and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell button also. So then guys, I will catch you on new video. Bye.